Hey guys. Now, I'm not trying to be mean spirited here or anything, um, but I wanted to kind of ask a question. Now, last night's Dynamite was basically trying to build a dynasty, and essentially, Tony Khan, and this is in the eyes and views of a lot of folks, obviously tried to act like he was listening to the fans. And what I mean by listening to the fans, what I mean is basically saying, hey, you guys said that the women should have main evented instead of the world title. Guess what? I'm going to listen to you here. Now, look, one could give him credit by actually, doing exactly what, he should have done at Revolution. The problem, though, is when fans say he should have had the women main event Revolution instead of the world title match, he's talking about basically the AEW Women's World Championship match, the Hollywood ending match between Toni Storm and Mariah May. That is what people are talking about. They're not talking about just any random women's match. Yes, it is important to put up basically and essentially your I'm not trying to make this comparison, but essentially what you're building up to be your female Goldberg, if you will, Megan Bay. Yes, it's important to feature her in a big, prominent way, especially if you're having her go after the women's championship at Dynasty, and maybe even do what some people feel you should wait on doing, and that's crown the lady. So yes, it's important to do that, but you can also do it by putting it in the area, in the time slot that you put the world title in. Now, speaking of the world title, it was a rematch from Revolution, no disqualification, street fight, and it wasn't as violent as a lot of Moxley matches have been, or Copeland matches have been, but it did have its memorable moment, because the moment that it had was essentially Copeland, bringing out his spike weapon, which was basically a tribute to the Janus weapon that Abyss brought into TNA, but it was also something else. Basically, it was a kind of a hybrid combination of what Mick Foley would bring out as Cactus Jack with the barbed wire baseball bat, and what Abyss would bring out with the nails and Janus and all that. But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. So Adam used the weapon on Moxley, but there was a moment in there that did get people talking, and it wasn't for the best reasons. And that is the fact that Moxley got suplexed onto this weapon. And usually you would think, okay, when somebody gets suplexed onto it, or thrown into something like that, then yeah, they're going to come up and they're going to have puncture wounds, right? Well, he came up all right, but he didn't have puncture wounds or anything. He had the entire board sticking out of his back. And this pretty much got a lot of people talking, but not in the best ways for the company, because essentially what happened here is it just showed how far down in many people's eyes the AEW has gotten. Yes, you have potential. Everybody's been saying this. They have potential. They have the right components, star-wise, to basically take this company to where it needs to be. But right now, it feels like, Tony Khan is, driving, AEW like a car that's on fumes. You heard me right. Like a car on fumes. He's just basically trying to skid through every town he goes through every week to try to see if maybe he can, have an opportunity to get people talking more about his company, than the other than the competition. And it's like, it's like he's going through the motions right now. It's like he doesn't know what to do next, and that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. And it makes you wonder if he's just giving up. Not entirely, but just giving up right now because he knows it's WrestleMania season. and that basically more people are going to be focused on talking about WrestleMania and what's going to happen there, mostly with the John Cena Cody Rhodes match and so on. You have to wonder if he's just giving up and being like, screw it, I'm just going to throw shit at the wall, see what sticks, go from there, and just hope for the best. You got to wonder if he's just giving up, just for the time being. Because maybe he's realizing, not trying to make excuses for him, but maybe he's realizing, like, look, there's no way I'm going to compete with WWE right now. There's no way I'm going to get attention on my product and all that, while WrestleMania is happening and everything. You got the John Cena thing going on. There's no way I'm going to get people to focus on me more so than them. So maybe he's just putting up the right flag for right now and being like, I'm done for the season. I'm done for this next month or two. And then I'll use the post-WrestleMania, the post-WrestleMania environment to maybe, or the post-WrestleMania landscape to maybe start building to my WrestleMania, which is all in Texas at Global Life Field. Maybe that's his mindset. I'm not saying it is. Again, I'm not trying to make excuses for him. But it just feels like, based on what I've seen through highlights through AEW's YouTube channel, what people are saying, people that cover AEW, it almost feels like Tony Khan is giving up, at least for WrestleMania season. He's just throwing up the right flag and saying, I'm done. I'm not going to fight it. I'm done. I mean, yes, he's doing his best. He's doing his best to try to at least get some eyeballs and attention on the product as best as he can. And allowing Moxley to do that spot last night in his match with Copeland might have been one way to do it, or one way to make that happen. But outside of that, it feels like he's just giving up. He feels like he just feels like there's no way he's going to be able to go against the mammoth monster known as WrestleMania, during this time. So he's just going to have to just, just do what he can, like I said, to at least get some people talking about what's happening. And I can, and you know what's crazy about that, folks? I can kind of respect that. I know myself and others have been critical about him, and there's no doubt, and we've been justifiably so in doing so, in being critical. We've been justifiable in being critical, and that's a fact. We've been justified in saying the things we've had. But I can kind of respect him for realizing, hey, the spotlight's not going to be on me right now. There's no, it doesn't matter, what I do, what I throw at the table and everything, whether it makes sense or not. I'm going up against a titan right now. I'm going up against pretty much a god in WrestleMania, in WWE's, in WWE during the WrestleMania season. So he's just realizing, or maybe it's just my opinion, he's just realizing, hey, if I just wait it out till WrestleMania is done, and then I can start focusing more on not just Double or Nothing, but mostly my All in Texas show, then maybe I have a chance to rebound. Maybe I can get the eyes back on my product in a way, on my company in a way from WWE. But again, that's just what I'm thinking. That's just my opinion of what I feel, is going on as to why AEW, it has, like I mentioned earlier, and myself and others have talked about this. AEW has the talent. They have the talent to be the very best promotion, wrestling-wise and even story-wise, out there today. They have the talent to be almost at the same level as WWE from a wrestling and storyline perspective, but they just don't apply it. The wrestling, everybody will agree, and I agree too. The wrestling that they have there, is bar none one of the best. Some of the best, if not the best, wrestling in North America right now. But the storylines that they try to do aren't matching up. You're not using the talents that you're bringing in either from WWE or TNA or Japan. You're not using them to the best of their abilities. And I do apologize for that notification there, guys. You're going to be hearing those throughout these on-camera and audio recordings through my phone here. But anyway, you know, like I said, the wrestling is by far the very, very best, in North America. But the storylines don't match up, and the talent you bring in from WWE, TNA, Japan, wherever, the talent you bring in, basically you're not giving them a chance to, kind of, I guess you could say, introduce themselves to your audience, or get your audience familiar with them, so that when you put them into a storyline or a rivalry, it'll have importance, because the people would have been invested in them from the get-go. But you're not doing that, and it's taking the talent on them, on their own, to come up with solutions of how to get the fans to to watch them and to pay attention to them, like Ricochet is doing and everything. What he's doing, that's fine. That's great. That little aha kind of gimmick, and all that. That's great for him. He's got something there. But it would have been more impressive, more talked about, and everything, if people knew about him from the get-go. If they knew about who Ricochet was from the get-go, you gave him time to be introduced to, like, vignettes and everything, and so on. But you didn't do that. You didn't do that with him. You haven't done that with Megan. Well, I guess you've kind of done it with Megan Bain, but not much. So, to me, if he just would have done that and still could do that with talents that he has and is going to have, or he's brought in or will bring in, if he does that, it gets people to be invested in them, so that when they do compete in that ring and show what they can do from a wrestling standpoint, as well from a storyline perspective, once you start putting them into those scenarios, excuse me, fans will be more more intrigued to see what you do with them, more intrigued to see what they do in the rivalries you put them in the storylines you put them in. But that's not going to happen unless you do that. And right now, it doesn't feel like he really wants to do it as much. It feels like right now, at least for WrestleMania season, he's just giving up. He's just throwing his hands in the air and realizing, guys, we could do the best wrestling. We can have the best wrestling in the world and all that, and some of the more entertaining superstars, men and women-wise, outside of WWE in this company. But there ain't no way we're gonna, compete with WWE right now, or get eyeballs on our product during this WrestleMania season. And I'm thinking that's why, in a way, it feels like, based on the highlights I see, based on what I'm hearing people see, based on some of the desperation some people say that they'll putting out there, and allowing stars to do and all that to get garner attention. It almost feels like that. Tony's just giving up, at least during WrestleMania season, because he knows there's no way he stands a chance against the mammoth titan known as WWE, especially during this time of year. But maybe I'm wrong, and maybe they just lost their footing. A lot of people say they have not been the same since Cody left, and most importantly since CM Punk left. And there are key players that they don't have right now. I mean, as much as you don't like them, they don't have the Young Bucks right now, and they need the Young Bucks, in my opinion, to help really revitalize that tag team division and everything. And here's the other thing too. And I do apologize for the notification again. But here's the other thing too. They're trying to focus on the Hurt Syndicate, the Hurt Business, if you will, to be like the new badass stable that the fans will get behind just based on the badassery. But here's the thing. You could do that. And hold on for a sec. Sorry about that. And I do apologize for any boom booms as a text messages going on between my family right now. But like I was saying, it almost feels like, he's just realizing that there's no way they could stand a chance against the mammoth conglomerate known as WrestleMania season by WWE. And he's just, throwing whatever's out there to at least get attention. Yeah, but it feels like, again, based on what I've seen and all that, what I've heard, it's almost like, he's just, finally saying, it's like he's finally saying, look, let's just raise our hands, give it up, and just let WWE have the spotlight and we'll try afterwards. Because again, right now it does feel like all they're doing is trying to get attention on them as best as they can, and all that, to or at least get some attention by allowing the talent to do certain things they shouldn't be doing. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do if you're Tony Khan and you're realizing, hey, I want fans to pay attention to me, but yet I can't have them pay attention to me because all eyes are on WWE right now, all eyes are on WrestleMania, all eyes are on what's going on with there, and no matter what we do and everything, people are not going to care. They're not going to care and all that. So, again, it just feels like to me, maybe it's just my opinion, I do apologize for that notification there. Like I told you, these are text messages coming through. But in just my opinion, I feel like basically, it just feels like he's, just, gave up for the time being. It's like he's realizing there's no way he can get attention off of WWE, and all that to, back on him, especially during this time of year. And again, this might sound strange, like I said earlier, but I do kind of respect him for realizing, hey, I'm not going to get the spotlight. I'm not going to sell out, decently and all that, certain venues. And if I do, people are not going to really talk about the events that much. I'll give him credit for at least, realizing, hey, my time's going to come this year. I just got to wait past Mania to make it happen. And I think that's what he's doing. I mean, he's letting his talent go out there, show the world what they can do. Yes, he's allowing them to do things they shouldn't be doing, to try to get people talking. But, he's letting, but by allowing that, he's gotten people talking in not the best ways for the company. And it's just something in the long run to where, where basically if you're Tony Khan, you're just realizing, yeah, let's just do the best we can, get through this tough period over the next, month and a half and see what happens. So, that's just my opinion. But it does feel like, at least for WrestleMania season, they put up the white flag. They've kind of given up, on, being what they should be, putting the effort into what they need to be. And that's the number 2 company in the world, if not potentially on par with WWE, because you can't tell me that's not the goal of anybody in AEW, because that's the goal of anyone in any kind of competition. You want to be on that same level as your rival, as your competitor. You want to be on that same level. So, to me, I just feel like he's just, waving the right flag right now during WrestleMania season, saying, hey, I give up. You guys take the spotlight. You guys do whatever you want. I'm just going to do what I can to at least get people to remember, hey, we're here and all that. And again, I do apologize for the notification there. That's my family texting. But I'm thinking, in my opinion, he's just giving it up right now. Like, hey, I'm done and all that. And again, I do apologize for that notification. That's a text message. But again, like he's just giving up right now. He's just saying, hey, I'm just going to wait and see what happens. And again, I do apologize for all these notifications there, all these text messages. I do apologize, guys. But again, like I said, I think he's just giving it up right now and letting WWE have the time. And, hopefully he's going to try better afterwards. Hopefully he'll get his moment in his mind. He's going to hope to get his moment afterwards and all that. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens and everything. But again, it's just my opinion. It's just my opinion that I feel like they're just giving up right now because it's WrestleMania season, and he's just going to wait till it's done to see, what the next step will be, so they can hopefully get back to that area. Because like I said, before all the text messages started to interrupt a little bit, because like I said, and again, there's another one, I do apologize. But it's like I said, you want to have that, you want that goal, you want to be at the very top of the business, you want to be at the very, again, I apologize for text message there, you want to be at the top of the business and everything, you want to be on the same level, on par with your competition and everything. That should be the goal that everybody has. And there's a lot of people that used to work for WWE that have never worked for WWE that want to do that, and they know Tony wants to do that. And again, I do apologize for these notifications, that. these text messages. But again, there are those that are on top that want to get to that next level. They want to, they want to prove that on the same level, I should say, not next level, but the same level as WWE. They want to be side by side with them, that they have that goal. And Tony Khan has it as well. But again, he's probably realizing, he's probably getting some advice. And again, I do apologize for the notifications. He's probably realizing right now and probably getting advice of it that, hey, this is WrestleMania season. They just pulled and I do apologize for a lot of the text messages. I do apologize. I do apologize for that again. But they're probably realizing, Tony Khan's probably realizing with the help of a lot of folks that basically now is not the time to, try to be on the same level of WWE. It's WrestleMania season, and just let WWE have the moment, especially based on what they pulled at Elimination Chamber and what we got on Monday as a follow-up, if you will, with Cena and Rose. And again, I do apologize for the notification, guys. I do apologize for that. But again, that's what I think is going on. And you got to remember, a lot of these talents that now work for him competed at WrestleMania, beforehand, so they know, how big this event is, how important it is, how basically nobody stands a chance during WrestleMania season. When it comes to WWE, nobody stands a chance. Like whatever spotlight they want to put on themselves, pretty much is going to get ignored. So, yeah, it feels like Tony Khan is just, giving up and everything, and maybe he's being advised just to, put the white flag up right now during WrestleMania season, let WWE have its spotlight and everything, and then afterwards try to get the attention back on his product, on his company, on his stars, and try building to Double or Nothing, and most importantly, All In Texas. And again, I do apologize for all these text messages coming through, guys. I do apologize for that. But anyway, though, that's all I could say on it. Let me know what your thoughts are. Do you agree with me on the fact that basically Tony Khan, maybe at the advice and behest of those in the company that used to work for WWE, to know what this time of year is like, do you think maybe they've kind of let him know, hey, just basically hold back right now, hold back, let them have the spotlight, don't try too hard to compete, just let them have their moment, and then, wait until after to try to gain that momentum back, or at least regain some momentum. Let me know what your thoughts are, guys. Comment down below, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Like I said, like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video, and all that, and everything, and do all the other things as well. Again, guys, I do apologize for the text messaging here. That's, between my family and all that, so I do apologize for that. I really do. But again, like I said, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications. That's what I was looking for. That's the one I'm looking for. Ring the bell for notifications, subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video. Also, guys, check me out on all your favorite audio, video podcast platforms like iTunes, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Spotify, Audible from Amazon, Radio Public, Overcast. Anywhere there's a podcast, you can find me there as well. Also, guys, check me out at VENMO at BW Roses, Rumble.com at BW Roses, Odyssey.com at BW Roses-5. Also, check me out at my Teespring store for merchandise you can't get anywhere else. Also, ladies and gentlemen, you can find me at DeviantArt.com at BVW1979, InkBunny.net at BW Roses. You can also support me at Patreon.com at BW Roses as well. You can also support me at Venmo and Cash App. That'd be greatly appreciated. As well as you can find me at Twitch.tv and at Kick.com. You can also you can also follow me, I should say, at TikTok at BW Roses, Twitter, aka X at BW Roses, and Blue Sky. So again, guys, give me your thoughts on what I had to say here. Do you think, Tony Khan is just giving up right now because he knows, hey, I got my Dynasty pay-per-view coming up, but it's not going to matter because everybody's focused on WrestleMania, and he's just going to give them their time and everything, and then maybe hope for the best afterwards? What are your thoughts? Love to hear what you have to say on all this and everything and all that. And I do apologize again for all the notifications, all the boom, 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 booms, throughout. That was my family doing some text messaging back and forth. But guys, let me know what your thoughts are. And until then, I'll talk to y'all later.